Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode number 3 of Business My Way. I'm actually testing out today a new system, so I'm actually doing my live through the Zoom onto the Facebook because I still couldn't figure out how to get my phone horizontal and not vertical. And people tell me to do it. I'm really good with technical stuff, but for some reason I can't get this right. Yeah, people say me I have to get the phone in the position before I open the things, but it's still not doing what I wanted to do. But never mind. So today I want to talk about becoming greatest you can become. Like for me, it's yeah. Today I kind of had this aha moment. You know, when you kind of think of something, believe in something, and suddenly you get it. I'm not sure whether you have experienced this thing, but I because I work a lot with myself. I do a lot of different classes and trainings on not only on how I can get my business better and greater, but myself as well. I work with my beliefs and I work with my attitude and perception and perspectives and all kind of things. And so today I got this thing about greatness. Is I work a lot these days with access consciousness tools, and those are really pragmatic, very easy to use, and they are literally easiest thing I came across. Because my background with personal development is I started when I was 23. I started to study psychology because I was interested in all these, how the human psychology works. Why do we function the way we do? Why I am the way I am, and I wanted to change because whatever I had at the time, it didn't work for me. And throughout the years, I've done coaching, spirituality, meditations, vipassana, all sorts of things. Did fire walks, did fire eating, and it kind of worked for a week. And then I went back to where I was. And then in 2013, started to I kind of started to look into the access consciousness tools. I started really slowly, and for me, this all the road to actually getting this stuff was quite long. Comparing to other people, there are people who actually went from being where they really didn't like to be to where they like to be in like really short period of time. So for me, it's a bit longer, and so why I'm telling you that, yeah, it's just my background, and if you really want to look into it, just go to accessconsciousness.com if you want to know more about it. But yeah, becoming greatest you can be. Like for me, it before today, for me, becoming greatest that I can be or becoming the best at what I can be was always comparing myself to others. It always was how, if I become the greatest, let's say, a business person, that's mean like I have to be better than anyone else. And that kind of put me in position where, oh, I don't really want to step on someone's toes. I don't want to brag about myself. I don't want to do this, and that. And or like the best singer, it means you have to become the best singer. It means the rest of them are worse than you. And so it's the same thing. Like if you are the fastest man on the earth, it means like the everyone else is the slowest. So that was my kind of idea. When to become the greatest of what I can be, I have to be better than anyone else. But today, I like access consciousness talks about being infinite being. You're basically part of, you're not part of something, you are something so much greater than you are actually think you are. But you're not better than anyone else. You're not greater than, because if everything is one, then you are the one and everyone else is the one, and you're just basically everything else is part of everything else. And so today is like, it's even like really hard for me to talk about how I used to think, even though it was like literally half a day ago. Like, and now it is like, it is about idea of me being greater than I'm currently am. Like for some 5 minutes later, I can be greater than I am now. And really, because people in like the industry been talking a lot about it. Like you have to compete with yourself, you have to outcreate yourself, and kind of like with my mind, I kind of got it, but I didn't really get it like I got it today. So and what I like, there's one saying in access consciousness, like you get it when you get it. Like basically you work towards it, and one day it just clicks. Like I remember like 10, oh yeah, about 10 years now, not that long. Yeah, probably 10 years ago. I used to go to the trainings of Christopher Howard. I'm not really sure what he does now because he kind of disappeared for a while. But he did something similar that Tony Robbins does. Like with all he was talking about programming, NLP, setting up your mindset for the success, and all these kind of things. And he was telling the story about himself, how he was doing affirmation like regularly, and suddenly like he was running on the beach, like doing a jog, and like that was 2 years later before when he's kind of set intention about it, and it's basically he got it like in that moment, and uh, and that's how like basically I didn't understand what he meant by that, but I really wanted to get that point, what he was actually talking about. So today was one of those moments, because I, since actually working with access consciousness tools, I, those aha moments and those like literally it's like changing your paradigm, changing the way you function, because once you get it, life is not the same. You can't even, it's almost like let's say you think, that would be like that, like for example you like strawberry ice cream, and you think the strawberry ice cream is the best ice cream in the world, and then suddenly it's like it changes, and it's not anymore, it's, you discover there are all the other flavors, and suddenly it's like a new world opens up to you, and you even forget how it was that strawberry ice cream was the best ice cream in the world. Or when you change your attitude towards a person, you actually kind of, the blinders come off and you see what the person is really like. That's kind of thing, and you can't unsee it, you can't unknow it, you can't put it back inside of you. That's how those aha moments change. And while I'm talking about becoming greatness, so for me it was about becoming greatness, that I'm not competing with someone who is the same industry with me. I'm competing with myself. I'm competing. It's not even competition. Like for example, if something doesn't work for me, I I have a choice to change it. Now that I don't have to compete with anyone else, I have a choice to change whatever, however I want to build my business, however I want to build my life. And it's not about me improving on myself because I'm not good enough. It's because, like, for example, the way I live now, it's okay. It's not the worst and it's not the greatest. But it doesn't mean that I can't be the greater. That mean I don't want to bring in more money in. It doesn't mean I don't want to create more change in my clients' lives. It just basically the it at one point there is a moment when it stops working for you. You want to start creating more for you, creating more for in the world. Like for example, these days in Facebook, I see a lot of post people who has more money than I do. They actually buy forests so they don't get cut down. And can you imagine if, like, for example, if I technically I already own a forest. I own a piece of land with a forest, and so I kind of technically have accomplished that. But if, for example, my goal was to create more change in the world and have trees being planted instead of cut down, I really would like to buy a forest so it doesn't get to cut down. But I need money for that. I can't. Okay, someone can actually gift me, but I would like to have money for that. And to create more money for myself, I have to become someone else. It doesn't mean I have to become evil or greedy or something. It's mean I have to become something who actually what works for me, and somebody who actually can bring in that kind of money. And so a couple like last week I bought as well myself a book by Stephen and no, I think it's only sorry, I can't pronounce that. Chutitsa Bowman, a conscious leader, because I do want to become more conscious, and I would like to become conscious leader, not just for myself, for the world, for everyone else. And I would like to invite everyone else to become that. But it doesn't mean like that I'm not good enough or I'm bad now. It's mean like I just want to become something greater. This one, this one I have now, I'm happy with it. It's good. It's comfortable. But I want something greater. It doesn't mean like I have to become someone like. And another point is like, what have you decided being greater is for you? Like, for example, what does it mean for you? What have you decided? Someone who has like millions of dollars in the bank accounts, what have you decided that is? And if you actually judge that thing, if you judge people who have money, it will be hard for you to become that. So you basically like working on yourself and becoming greater of yourself. You have to look at these things. If you want to be a hippie who roams the meadows and forests with no penny to your soul, that's your choice. If that works for you, it's great, because there was a point in my life where I actually wanted to be that. I wanted to actually be that person who doesn't own anything, and the less I own, the kind of happier I would get. And I can tell you a story about that. I was actually in India. I I basically had a only one backpack. I was traveling for five months. I was working like I was doing my work on my laptop and stuff. I was like a contractor for the company. So basically, I could live comfortably with the money I had, but with a bare minimum, like simple clothes. Don't spend too much on this. Don't spend too much on that. Travel like a cheapest train ticket, cheapest flight ticket, And so I was renting like a studio apartment by the sea on a beach in Palolem Beach in Goa. And one day I was washing my clothes, the ones I had, in a bucket in my studio like apartment. And I was sitting there and like you know, rubbing the clothes, and I was thinking, this doesn't work for me anymore. I really want in that moment. I really it wasn't from like from judgment. Oh, I hate this and it's crap and like so. It was more of the moment. I'm too tired for this shit. I want a washing machine. It's basically in that moment. I really vividly remember it still. I really decided it was okay for a while. It was good for a while to actually live the lifestyle when I don't really require any like possessions. But I'm done with it. I've done it and I don't want it anymore. I want something else. And that was my last month in India. And then there was another moment. I had 2 weeks till my visa runs out, and I didn't really have much money then because I had spent a lot on fixing my computer and everything. And I needed to fix my computer because that's how I was earning money. And so I have 2 weeks. And so basically, I created, yeah. So basically, I I got the money, like literally just enough to buy a ticket, and I bought the ticket with from India to Riga through 5 different airports. So basically, I was my trip was a 14-hour night trip from Goa to Pune. Then I flew from Pune to Dubai. Then I flew from to Dubai to what it was to Istanbul in Turkey. Then I flew from Istanbul to Berlin in Germany. And then I had 19-hour layover. Even though my flight from Berlin to Riga was like 1.5 hours, I had to wait 19 hours for that. I could have walked quicker. And because I was so exhausted from all these flights, I actually spent all 19 hours in the airport. And that was another moment when I decided this has to stop. It's not good on my body, it's not good on anything. I'm not happy. I'm not happy, and I'm not creating anything greater in the world by not having money, by being miserable, by having pain in my body, by uh, spending 45 hours traveling, which technically could have taken me 8 hours. So, and these are the moments when I decided I do want to create something greater. But with the mindset I had then, it wouldn't have been easy. That's why you have to, and it as well is not about competing with anyone else. I don't mind if people decide to do like live off the like the people who say they live off the grid, they just need land and the sun and the rain and nothing else. I I really admire those people who are just so content and happy just with that. For me, it doesn't work. I want to create something else. I want to create um, something greater for myself, and something greater for myself is something different than for those people who actually would like to live off the grid or who doesn't like to have much material possessions. For me, I'm a technical person. I actually love te- technique. I love laptop. I like phones. I like selfie stick where I can do Facebook lives or create really cool pictures, like promotional pictures for myself. I like my ring light and I love it. And I actually, there are people who who can spend Like the money I spend on ring light, they would spend that money on clothes. For me, I'm not there yet. I like nice clothes, but I'm kind of hesitant to spend the money I'm spending on selfie stick. For me, it's a problem. So for me, it's like that's another thing I would like to kind of change for myself, because I do like to create have a nice clothes, and I perceive that it's gonna create greater for myself. And I see other women wearing like really cool clothes, and like when you walk on the street, you feel like you're on top of the world. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. And I know that sometimes clothes create that, but it's not just about the clothes. So for me, it's another thing I would like to look into it, like spending that kind of money. Like this one cost me 25 euros, which is like, what the hell is that? It's just a plastic and alloy, but I really love it, and it creates greater for me and for my business. For some other people, it's a cabbage patch. Cabbage patch, like a vegetable garden. Or for some people, it is like a new dress. So don't judge just because people choose something different for themselves, or don't compete with them because they choose something else for them. What are you choosing for yourself? What does it mean for you to be greater than you are today? Like for me, it is becoming conscious leader, and if becoming conscious leader means having different choices with my clothes, like with my hair, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, like look at all these things. Like look at like what works for you. Don't look at there are so many self-righteous people in the world who are going to judge you because you're not choosing what they are choosing, especially when it comes to environment and things like that. Even those people not always choose what is the greatest for environment. They just decided what is greatest for environment, and don't make your choices based on their judgment. Whatever that works for you, choose what. Because I felt guilty by going from not having possessions to having possessions, and you have to just look at what works for you and what would you like to create in the world. Thank you very much for tuning in. Merry Christmas, and I will see you on next Wednesday or New. Oh, it's gonna be. Is it gonna be New Year's already? Yeah, it's gonna be New Year's already. So happy New Year, and I will see you next year. Bye bye.